I hear it.
We're live. We're here. Hi, everyone. It's Julie Santiago here, and I am here with the beautiful and amazing Darcie. Darcie, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
So we were just talking before, and I was like, okay, are you comfortable with this? What do you want to talk about? Is there anything you don't want to talk about? She's like, I'm actually completely uncomfortable with this whole thing. So let's just do it, which is also such a testament to you and your personality, which is let's just do it. And I've watched that happen in our work together, and I've watched that happen in your life, and I know that's just part of your beautiful personality that just has you jump when you are ready or when you're not ready, which is why we're here. So obviously we have worked together for some time now, and we've just finished really working in kind of our concentrated 10-week program. And I invited you here so you could tell us a little bit about your experience, what worked for you, what you were struggling with first. So let's just start by having you share that piece of what was going on in your life. Why did you sign up? What were you struggling with?
Thank you, Julie, by the way. So I'm 50.
Happy late birthday.
There you go. That was it, and at that point I think I know, who am I? Why am I here? What's the point of all of this? My kiddo was going off to school, and that transition from mother to individual. And I don't currently have a place to call home. So a little bit of a wanderer, and so a lot coming up for me in terms of what's next, but also what the hell have I done with my life? And so, and do I want to keep doing the stuff I'm doing? So, a lot of transition, a lot of pain, sadness. And, I got just one of your regular emails, and I was like, Julie, I just felt like I had to call you. And then it was, you just really, you have a real pragmatic way about you, even though you're extraordinarily woo-woo, which really resonates for me.
Practical?
It's
spiritual.
you're like, I got you. I got it. I got you. Yeah. And so when you say that, I feel it, and I feel safe, and I'm like, okay, she's got me. All right. So that's how it all started.
Yeah. Thank you, Darcie. And so one of the things that I know we talked about during our program, and then at the end of it was, what were you feeling before, and what are you feeling now? And one of the things you mentioned even just now was you were feeling unsafe and fearful in some way, and unsure which direction to go in. And, whether you're 50 or, we worked together 4 years ago as well, 3 years ago, where, whatever age you're at, whatever you're experiencing, one of the things that I notice in my work is women come to me when they're at a crossroads. And that's what you were saying. You're like, I'm at a crossroads,
Yes.
In my life,
Yes.
My son's leaving home, he's done with school, crossroads with work, crossroads with life, crossroads personally, professionally, all of it. And one of the things that I remember that you were really struggling with, which is pretty common for the women, my ladies who come to me, is stress and overwhelm and, kind of high achieving women on that slippery slope of burning out. And I'm curious how that was manifesting in your life before we worked together. And then, of course, we'll talk about how you manage it now, because it doesn't go away. Our responsibilities don't go away.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, no. It's just a better toolbox, for me, at least for me, that's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. Until you were like, Darcie, you're an overwhelm. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is the way I live my life. So I didn't know what I didn't know. And there was, I think, a comfort that I didn't even know I had in the overwhelm, in the always doing. And, and then, and then it's drinking wine and watching Netflix and eating food and vegging out and not doing anything. Those are my choices that I made. I'm just so tired, and that's where the pleasure of it, like sitting and binge watching my favorite shows, which I won't name all of them, but but I would say that the big thing was as big as that was life, and I'm going to say was because I feel it's like in a different place now, and when it does show up, I'm like, that's what overwhelm feels like and looks like, and I have tools to manage that. I can say no to things. I can say yes to different things. I feel more empowered. I think I felt a little like victim-y, like I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to take care of my kiddo and I have to take care of everybody, and I don't have to, and people don't actually want me to take care of them. And it's made just a world of difference in general, to let certain things go in the best possible way. Not in like an I don't care, which I think was the only way I thought it was. You either take care of it or you don't care, when in fact you're empowering people, individuals, in your life, whether it's work or personal, to, take ownership. And again, like, I think that's a mom thing. That's a woman thing. So I like you just said, like the overwhelm thing. I still remember when you pointed that out on a call that I have to stay out of overwhelm. And I was like, she's right. I'm like, that is it. What would my life look like if I didn't? And so, that's a little uncomfortable too, being in a place of lightness and learning how to live in a little bit of lightness. But yeah, no, that was probably one of the biggest things I got, was really an understanding and a definition for me of what overwhelm looks like, and that I don't have to live there.
That's huge, Darcie. And for anybody watching this, I want you guys to really hear what Darcie said, which is she was living in overwhelm and stress and over caretaking and over responsibility, and in some ways feeling like you didn't have a choice. Like it was like, this is just my job, or this is just being a mom, or this is just being a woman, and like, guess this is always just going to be this challenging and this hard. And that was wreaking havoc on your life in some ways, right? I mean, on your physical health, on your relationships, on, like drinking wine at night, eating ice cream at night, watching endless hours of Netflix, like the ways we numb or try to recoup after we're so depleted, right? And so it's like the nervous system's way of trying to recalibrate itself, okay? So it's like, we do this, and it's not unhealthy. It's just a short-term fix, right? We talk a lot about the short-term fixes versus the long-term fixes. It's a short-term fix, which is you're so depleted and overwhelmed, whether you realize it or not, it's not sustainable, and the only way your body knows how to rebalance itself or recalibrate itself are in those short-term ways. So what you said that was really important that I want to highlight for everybody watching, and I want you to talk about your experience of this in the program and after, is you said, who would I even be if I weren't overwhelmed? Okay, that's a big one. So who would I even be if I weren't overwhelmed? And this line of questioning can go for any woman. Like, who would I even be if I weren't so busy? Who would I even be if I weren't stressed out? Like, what would my life actually be like if I didn't have those things? So there's a reason that high achieving women, mostly high achieving, successful, type A, organized, badass, successful on the outside women get to that breaking point of burnout and overwhelm, because we get something from it, right? We get something from it. So what did you, I'm curious if you want to share this.
Oh my God. I'm like,
are we coaching here? What's happening? So no, just to be honest, and if you don't, I mean, I'm happy to share like what I see with other women, but like what was being, what was,
for me, I think, what do I get from overwhelm? Significance, worth, some sort of love and being needed, those were all, I didn't know this until I worked with you, but yeah, those were all, and like, what would happen if I kept my mouth shut in a meeting and let things fall apart? And then I got, I think you taught me how to really be have some objective distance and kind of watch and see what comes up for me and see that the situation unfolded all by itself. And I didn't have to torque myself into anything. I didn't have to do anything, and people figured it out, whether it be coworkers or family members, my son, or, it's nice. It's, to be able to do that, but uncomfortable, because then you're like, well, why am I here? Like, what's my purpose if I'm not hovering over everything and being the boss?
Yeah. That's huge. What is my purpose? What is my worth? What is my value if I'm not constantly kind of trying to control and take care of and, be the one that fixes it all? Okay, so when you saw that part in yourself, and as I know you've been working with this since we completed our time together, what's on the other side of that? When you can see yourself going into that place, what's on the other side? Because it's hard to let go of these patterns. It can feel virtually impossible unless you're doing it with the right support and the right, system. On the other side of the overwhelm, what has opened up for you? What is opening up for you? What can you sense?
Well, I can tell you that, people might be listening and think, oh, I got it. Yeah, I got it. It's the difference between, as I would say, with my son and his friends when they would play Madden and then they'd go actually play football. There's a big difference between playing the game and actually going out on the field. So, you sit here and you're like, yeah, I get that. But like, when you're in it, like, the weekly calls were extraordinarily important because it was a place to just talk through, because it's layers of stuff and it's weird. It's different for, it could be a conversation at work that triggers something. It could be something very deep, something very light, but there's this hand holding through this unknown territory that, when you're actually doing the work, it is like, I would be like, okay, it's time for calls. I have questions, and it would always be really, that was really, I think, I don't go into a bad, what do they say? Like, your head is like a bad neighborhood. Don't go in there by yourself. Absolutely. Don't go there by yourself. Yep. Don't go there. Like, the work is really, it's tough. And not in a bad way, but tough, like, don't go there alone. I mean, it's so, I would go into calls with you and I'd just be like, bleh, and then I'd be done in literally like an hour. It'd be like, and it would make sense. Mm-hmm. I would make sense to myself again. Yeah. And so it was, the habits of whatever the habits are come up, and judgment of not being able to figure things out again, type A personality, I have to figure it out, I got it all together. And part of this process, deconstructing all of that, at least it was for me, and in deconstruction, how do you find your balance and your okayness with that being raw and figuring it out? Everybody's in the same journey. Everybody's there to support one another. So that made it like a really safe place to unpack it all and laugh really hard and cry really hard. And so I just wanted to say that. But on the other on the other side of it all, gosh, I've had a few weeks of craziness, but I have, like I said, this objective distance now that I know I can see it for what it is. It's no longer me. It's not, I am overwhelmed. Wow, there's overwhelm here that I can work on and fix and remove things. Or if I know I've done it, I'm like, I did this. How will I not do this again? Mm. What can I do differently? I have options where I think I felt there were no, it was just my life. I just plowed on through and took care of everything and everyone. and if I didn't, it was almost like, F you, I'm not going to take care of you. Whereas now it's not that, it's, I know you got this. I know you got this. And I can do less and have more energy and get actually more done and without, owning it all and throwing it on my back.
So that's huge. So if you were to say, you mentioned something that I'm going to loop back to, but what I'm curious about right now, if you were to share, like, what are the 3 areas of your life where you feel like this work has like most impacted on the back end? Like, you don't need to talk about them in detail, but like, could you just like say, like, what are the areas of your life where you feel like because you've done this work, you are now a better person in these areas?
Because I've done this work, I am a much better mother to a 19-year-old boy.
Hi, Ryan.
So anybody out there, and if he were on here, I mean, I haven't told him anything I've done, but I'm sure that he'd be like, she's like so much more chill, and connected. I think I shared with you that when I went out to visit him in school, I had the best day with him ever. And it was me, and I found myself wanting to tell him what I thought he should do, or and so I could see that. I had enough distance to just lay back and be present and enjoy and watch a kid who's figuring out life for himself. And it was just amazing. I'll never, like that's awesome. So in that, so that's changed. My work relationships, I think, have changed quite a bit. My relationship with work has changed, I would say. And not in what used to be an all or nothing, like I'm going to help you, like I said, or I'm going to tell you to pound sand. So now there are many, many facets and places in between there. Where else? There's so many. I'm like, what's the top 3?
Those are like the big ones.
I would say I would also say, my relationship with my parents and understanding that piece as they get older and I get older, and what I want out of that relationship, and what baggage has come along the way with it. And so that makes it easier for me to have somewhat of a more loving and open relationship. And I'm going to say number 4, just, my relationship with myself is I think the most important, and really there's safety and happiness and joy and having hope and understanding that life is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Whereas when I first met you, I was like, well, that's it. It's now, like, there's nothing. What am I going to do? And there's so much possibility, endless possibility in life. And so,
as that endless possibility unrolls for you, there are things that I am aware of, that I know, having talked to you recently, that are unfolding for you, that are visions that you really hadn't let yourself feel before working together. And you don't need to talk or share about any of those out loud, but they're big ones, right? For like the things you actually really want in your life that in some ways you hadn't let yourself really play with before or even go there. And so, yes, your relationship, you are a better mother. Like, that is something that all the women who go through this program say. I am more connected. I am more present. I am able to, love the people that I love more. I also heard that part about your relationships with work. So you're talking about like leadership and like how to show up and how like to lead from your feminine strengths, which is sometimes talking and which is sometimes not, right? Boundaries, right? Fierceness, and also the great mother, right? And relationship with parents and relationship with yourself. And the part that I really want to focus on here, the relationship with yourself piece, and the doors that open for you where you thought the doors were closed, right? You're at the crossroads. There was something that was ending. You weren't sure what else was beginning. And that's really what the program does and did for you. It opened up the next chapter in your life.
Yes, thank you. That's what it did.
Well, so I want you to tell us a little bit about, like, you don't have to tell us about the specifics, but like the big things that you're aware of that you want in your life that you're now building towards. What do you think, I'm like, what is my question? How did this program help you get there, I guess is my question. There's lots of different questions that I could ask you about this, but how did it help you get clear on what you wanted and what the next piece was?
I don't even know, Julie. It's your program. It's awesome. There's not like one, you just have to do the homework, show up. And there were things that I'm like, well, this is not going to teach. I'm going to just do it because Julie told me to do it. And it's like, oh. And I still refer to my notebook full of things that, there's little nuggets that, are in places and sticky notes and things to remind myself there are things that have been emblazoned into my heart. But I actually have no idea how you did this because I'm a stubborn one. I had no idea. I don't know how you guided us. I don't understand, and I'm clearly it's not mine to understand. You've created an incredible program that walked me through exactly the steps in the order that they needed to go in. Really interestingly enough, because I was like, I want to figure this out right now, and that wouldn't be what you were
going. Step 6.
Exactly. She kept telling people, no, that's like 4 steps down. You're here, and so really understanding how the order in which things should be done, I think was really important because it did build on top of one another, and I clearly had multiple aha moments at different places that then built on the next one. So,
well, here's what I want to say about. So, thank you for expressing your experience in the program, and what I want everybody who's watching to know, and what I also want to celebrate in you, Darcie, is that you have 2 ways of doing this work. You can sign up and you can do it halfway, or you can show up fully. And I only work with women who show up and they're committed, 100% decisive. They're ready to draw a line in the sand. They're tired of feeling like they're always stressed out and burnt out, and they're not sure what their purpose is, and they're ready to do life a different way. And when you showed up and you were like, I am in 100%. And you did all of your homework. You did every single exercise. You showed up on every single call. You sent tickets into the support desk, right? Like, you took advantage of every single thing that is necessary in this program. And so, I really want to celebrate that. And you, Darcie, your results were so tremendous because you showed up, right?
You gotta do the work.
You did the work. And so that's a really important point for anyone, that you have to show up and you have to do the work.
And what I think was great was that everybody on the call, on the calls in the group, was massively busy.
Yeah.
Massively busy. Yep. And then dedicated their time to doing this work. And that was, I think, also helpful. Like, well, so-and-so did it, and I got no excuse because,
Yeah. Like, one of the women in your group had a 2-hour commute both ways every single day and worked a 10-hour job, right? And so and she made time. You have a full-time busy life. You made time. And so here's the deal. When someone is committed, they find a way. When someone is interested in doing the work, they find an excuse, right? And so there's a difference between being committed and being interested. So if you're committed to making changes, you don't have to know exactly how you're going to get there. Like, that's my job, right? I
had no idea. What you said to me was, at the end of 8 weeks, you will know what you want to do with the rest of your life, or something very, definitive, like drop the mic. And I'm like, okay, sign me up. I'll do the work. Well, because what was my other choice? My other choice was continuing to drink wine, eat Chinese food and watch Netflix and be in overwhelm, which I didn't know I was, but be the boss.
Yeah.
Be the boss, drink wine, Netflix, that's it. And that was I was at a point where I was like, I can't
keep doing it.
I don't want this anymore. So if Julie's saying she can get me another outcome by committing to this program for 8 weeks, and I'll freaking do it.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
And it was, it's always a leap, but I mean, everything I've ever done with you, Julie, has been absolutely fantastic and life changing. So it was probably fairly easy for me in a lot of ways. But when you said that to me, I'm like, oh, she says it can be different?
It can be different.
Yeah, let's do this.
And all it takes is a choice. It takes one single choice, right? Of saying,
what the hell did I do? And then you start, and then you just keep doing it, because you remind yourself that it's either Netflix, Chinese food and wine,
or a different life.
Or listen to Julie and do some homework.
So look, you guys, this is what we're talking about. Like, you can keep doing what you're doing. If you love your life, if the results and the outpouring of your life is exactly what you want it to be, keep doing what you're doing. That's fine. But if you know deep down somewhere that there's more, that there's meant to be more to your life, that in some ways you feel like you're sacrificing your life, if it's that feeling of just like you're not there yet, right? Then you have a choice. Like, you've already made a choice by watching this, so let's celebrate that. The next choice you can make, if you're called, is you can book a call with my team to find out whether or not this program is right for you. I don't know if it's right for you, right? I won't know that until we talk to you, right? Like, Darcie and I really had to talk about this before we knew. And if it's not right, I'll tell you. We'll tell you that it's not right. But if you want to make a different choice, if you want to do what Darcie's saying, which is choose to get back into the driver's seat of your life, it's not perfect, right? It doesn't have to be. You don't have to figure everything out today. You just have to take the next step. So if in your heart you feel like the next step, maybe exploring working with us, then go to juliesantiago.com/apply. And it's going to give you our calendar, and you can book a session to chat with us about whether or not this work is right for you. Darcie, I want to share one final thing with you before we close, which is the words that the women shared about you on our final call. So this is one of the really cool things that we do in our program, is on the final call, everybody shares what they see in you. So Darcie, you started by saying, I felt unsafe and fearful and unsure of which way to go. I didn't know how to take care of myself. Okay. And then all the women, this is what they shared about you. And then you said, I now feel more trusting, more honest, more comfortable with lightness. And I've got all these new job opportunities coming my way. And then here's what the women said about you. They said, Darcie, you have become more relaxed, more self-accepting. You seem so much less worried, so much more joyful. You radiate an inner strength, and you seem so secure. So, thank you for sharing your heart and your journey with me and all of the other women watching. I love you very much, and sharing your journey is truly an honor, because you showed up and you did the work, and I know you know it never ends, right? And you're doing it now.
Yep.
And I just really celebrate you and your incredible journey these past few months. So thank you, my love.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. If you are interested in finding out whether or not this could work for you or it is right for you, just go to this button, juliesantiago.com/apply. You'll get on a call for about an hour with the team, and we'll let you know whether or not this program could work for you. And if it can, I can't wait to see you on the inside and support you all the way to your dreams. And if not, we'll tell you that too. So thanks, Darcie. Thank you all for watching, and talk to everybody soon. Bye.